Hello students, welcome back. I, Alamukarthi Neeraj Kumar with yet another video. If you are new to my channel, then please subscribe and click on the bell icon to get the notification of my further videos. This video is for 12th Standard Maharashtra State Board. Dear 12th Standard students, how are you all? Hope you are enjoying your lockdown days. You are the students who met and accepted changes from past 3 years. You are used to the changes and challenges. Now yet another change or challenge now, that is lockdown. No worries children, this shall too pass. This is the textbook prescribed by Maharashtra State Board for you to purchase. Since now it is lockdown, you cannot get the hard copy. Don't worry. Go to the official website ebalbharti.in and you can download the PDF format. Without wasting much time, let's get into the lecture. Every one of us, while waking in the morning, we all expect the day to be fine and happy, and we pray for that. Some of us have the habit to listen to the daily astrology in TV, radio, or even in the newspapers. Astrology is in the form of fortune telling. Some astrologers have the ability to foretell an individual's future by drawing and studying a chart called horoscope. It shows the configuration of the planets and the stars at the moment of the individual's birth. Here in this video, we are going to learn an astrologer's day, the chapter 1.1 by Mr. R.K. Narayan. Before getting into the story, I will brief you about the author. His full name is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayana Swamy, born on 10th October 1906 till 13th May 2001. He is best known as a creator of Malgudi, a fictional South Indian village that has a zany, eccentric and at the same time it's true to the world. Narayan's books include semi-autobiographical trilogy of Swamy and Friends, Bachelor of Arts and English teacher. His Financial Expert was hailed as one of the most original works of 1951. Sahitya Academy winner for the novel The Guide, and it was adapted for the film, and it also won the Filmfare Award for the best film. He highlights the social context and everyday life of his characters, and all his books and stories takes place in his own created imaginative town Malgudi. Students, I have divided this lesson into 4 parts for you to understand easily. The first part of the lesson is from punctually during a midday till at the end of the day, page number 2 and 3. Kindly pause the video, read this part and then resume the video. Hope you read and are able to understand at least some points vaguely. Even if you are not able, no worries, I will help you to understand. The story starts during the midday in the marketplace. An astrologer, he opens his bag, takes out all his professional equipments like cowrie shells and a cloth with the obscure mystic charts, bundle of the Palmyra writings. The next part describes the appearance of the astrologer. His forehead is covered with the sacred ash and the red pigment vermilion or otherwise kumkum in the middle of the sacred ash. His eyes sparkled for the continual search look for the customers. But his clients also felt comforted while seeing his eyes. Such was the power of his eyes. He wore a saffron colored turban and that also enhanced the attractiveness of his customers. He sat under the bough of the tamarind tree and it was also a remarkable place in many ways. There were so many vendors in that market, like medicine sellers, sellers of stolen hardware, magicians, auctioneer of cheap cloth, who created enough din all day to attract the whole town. A groundnut seller was the vendor next to the astrologer, who gave fancy names like Delhi almond, Raja's delicacy, Bombay ice cream to his ware, which attracted so many people. And many of them even visited our astrologer also. During the dusk, since there was no municipal lights, the place was lit by the shop lights. One or two had hissing gas light, old cycle lamps, etc. And our astrologer managed without the lights of his own. He transacted his business by the light of flare crackled and smoked by the groundnut vendor above his groundnut heap. It was a bewildering crisscross of light rays and moving shadows. This suited the astrologer very well, as he did not intend to be an astrologer when he began his life. He don't know what will happen to him the next minute or next hour. Then how could he know about his customers? For he was a stranger to the stars. Yet he said the things that attracted the people or that comforted the people. That was because of his shrewd guesswork practiced to understand the people. And this work he did honestly, and he deserved to take home the money he earned at the end of the day. Glossary or meanings of some hard words. To crown the effect, indicating the final item in a list. Flanked, be on one side of. Where, vessel or a storage holder. Flare, a sudden brief burst of bright flame or light. Crackled, make a rapid succession of short sharp noises. Astonished, greatly surprised or I hope you understood the first part of this lesson. Now the explanation of second part. Second part is from he had left his village till green shaft of light was blotted out from page 3 and 4. Children, pause the video, read this part and then resume the video. As I have said, he did not intend to be the astrologer in the first part, right? Now, if he didn't intend to be an astrologer, then what was he? What would he have become? Why he became an astrologer? Let us try to find answers to all these questions in this part. He left his village without any plan. Such was the situation for him. If he would have been in the village, he would have carried the legacy of his forefathers like tilling of the land, living and marrying in the village, ripening his cornfield, and staying in the ancestral home. But unfortunately, he had to leave the village without telling anyone, and he could not stay somewhere within the radius of at least 100 to 200 miles. To a person like him, he was totally born and brought up in a village, a villager we can say. It was a great deal like an ocean flowed in between. That is, his life was moving smoothly, but a very big storm or tsunami has interrupted totally the upside down. He had analyzed man's troubles, marriage, money, tangles of human ties, etc. For so many years he was practicing astrology. He could read a person's face who comes to him, and he could easily judge what was wrong in the particular person. The astrologer charged 3 pice for one question. Pice means paisa. He never opened his mouth for 10 minutes. That means he listened to the client's problem. He could make out what could be the reason for their problems, and then he gives answers or advices. For example, one type of question is, in many ways you are not getting the result of your efforts. These are the common problems that we all face. Second type is there a woman in the family, maybe even a distant relative, who is not well disposed with you? Another tactic is most of the troubles are due to your nature. You have an impetuous nature and rough exterior. These are the common things that we common people face in our everyday life. So these kind of questions endeared him to the client's hearts immediately, and even the mildest of us, that is the timid people, also loves to think that he has a forbidding exterior, that means difficult appearance outside. Such was the tactic of the astrologer to win the minds of his clients. That day, during dusk, the nuts vendor blew out his flare and rose to go. And that was a signal for our astrologer also to wind up his earnings. He was left in darkness except for a green light in the form in from somewhere. He picked up his things and all the cowrie shells and paraphernalia into his bag. Paraphernalia means the things or the charts he had spread out. Then the green light shaft was blotted out. Now the glossary or meaning of this part. Pies means paise. An ocean flowed between means changing things upside down. Gazing, look steadily and intently in admiration, surprise or thought. Disposed, inclined or willing. Blotted out, to make obscure or insignificant. Students, I hope you understood part 1 and part 2. Now part 3. He sensed a client till to hear it. Page 4, 5 and 6. Students, pause the video, read the PDF form and then you resume. When the green light blotted out, the astrologer looked up and saw a man standing before him. He understood that he was a client and said, "You look so careworn, it will do you good to sit and chat with me." The man grumbled with anger and thrust his palm under his nose and asked, "You call yourself an astrologer?" The astrologer felt challenged and tilting, that is removing his hand, he said, "Yours is a nature." The man interrupted the astrologer and said, "Oh, stop that. Tell me something worthwhile." The astrologer now got irritated, but he did not show his irritation in his face and calmly said, "I charge only 3 pies per question, and what you get ought to be good enough for your money." The man took out an anna or pies and flung out to him and said, "I have some questions, and if I prove your bluffing, you must return that pies to me with interest." Astrologer replied, "If you find my answer satisfactory, will you give me ₹5?" The man very angrily said, "No." The astrologer then, "Or will you give me 8 annas?" The man again said, "All right, I will give you 8 annas, provided you give me twice as much if you are wrong." Finally, this pact was accepted after little further argument. The astrologer prayed to God. The man lit a cheroot. Cheroot means the cigar. And the astrologer saw the stranger's face when he lighted the match light. He sat sucking the cheroot, puffing out very relaxingly. Cars hooted, jutka drivers swore at their horses, and babble of the crowd agitated semi-darkness of the park. The astrologer felt uncomfortable and he said, "Here, take your anna back. I am not used to challenges. It is late for me today. He made preparations to bundle up. The man got angry and said, "You can't get it out of now. You dragged me in while I was passing." The astrologer said, "Leave me today, I will speak to you tomorrow." The man again got angry and said, "Challenge is challenge, go on." The astrologer tried to convince the man by saying, "There is a woman, that is his wife, is waiting at his home." The man again angrily said, "Stop, I don't want all that. Shall I succeed in my present search or not? Answer this and go, otherwise I will not let you go till you disgorge all your coins." Finally, the astrologer accepted and said, "All right, I'll speak, but will you give me a rupee if what I say is convincing? Otherwise, I'll not open my mouth and you may do whatever you like." The man, after having a good deal of haggling, agreed. The astrologer said to the man that you were left for dead. Am I right? The man shockingly and surprisingly said, "Ah, tell me more." The astrologer continued to tell about the man and said, "A knife has passed through you once." The man said, "Good fellow," and he bared his chest to show the scar and asked, "What else?" The astrologer again said, "And you were pushed into the well in the nearby field, and you were left for dead." The man said, "I should have been dead if some passerby had not chanced to peep into the well." And further he asked, "When shall I get him?" while clenching his fist. The astrologer said, "You will get him in the next world, because he died 4 months ago in a far off town. You will never see any more of him." The man groaned on hearing it, and the astrologer still proceeded by saying, calling the man Guru Nayak. The man was astonished and he was overwhelmed with enthusiasm and asked, "You know my name?" The astrologer again said, "As I know all other things, Guru Nayak, listen carefully to what I have to say. Your village is 2 days' journey due north of this town. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again a great danger to your life, and if you go from home." And then he took a pinch of sacred ash and held it to him and said, "Rub it on your forehead and go home. Never travel southward again, and you will live to be 100. The man again asked, "Why should I leave home again? I was only going away now and then to look for him and chuck out his life if I met him." He shook his head regretfully and said, "He escaped my hands. I hope at least he died as he deserved." The astrologer said, "Yes, he was crushed under a lorry." The other looked very gratified to hear this. The glossary or meanings: careworn, tired and unhappy because of prolonged worry; grumbled, complain about something in a bad-tempered way; vaguely, uncertain; tilting, thrust at with; bluffing, try to deceive someone as to one's abilities or intentions; glimpse, momentary or partial view; babble, talk rapidly and continuously in incomprehensible way; bared, uncovered; passerby, person who happens to be going past something; peep, look quickly and furtively at something; overwhelmed, have a strong emotional effect on; groaned, make a low creaking sound when pressure is applied; aback, towards or situated to back; reflectively, given a serious thinking. Students, I hope you understood so far. Now the explanation of last part, that is part 4, and it is from "The place was deserted till himself on the pyole." That is the end of the lesson, page number 6 and 7. Children, you shall pause the video, read this part and resume back. The astrologer picked the things. It was already dark. The stranger had gone off into the night, giving him some coins. It was midnight when he reached home. His wife was waiting for him and she asked, "Why are you so late?" The astrologer took some coins, flung it over her and told her to count them. One man gave all that. The wife, she counted and said 12.5 annas, and she was overjoyed and said, "I can buy some jaggery and coconut tomorrow. The child has been asking for sweets for so many days, and I'll prepare some nice stuff for her." The astrologer got very angry and said, "The swine has cheated me," and he promised giving him a rupee. The astrologer's wife looked at him and asked him, "You look so worried. Is there something wrong?" The astrologer said, "Nothing." Then he had his dinner and sitting on his pile, he said to his wife, "Do you know, a great load is gone from me today. I thought I had the blood of a man on my hands all these years. That was the reason why I ran away from home, settled here and married you. Today he is alive." Children, do you remember in the second part we said that the astrologer, he was in the village and he had to leave the village without telling anybody. That was the reason. He thought he had killed the man. That guilt conscience was there in his mind, and that great Lord has been kept down today. That is, the man is still alive. Hearing this, the wife very shockingly asked him, "You tried to kill him?" Astrologer said, "Yes, in our village, when I was a silly youngster. We were friends, we drank, gambled and quarreled one day. Why think of it now? Now it's time to sleep." Yawning and stretched himself on the pile, he slept very calmly that day. That is, he had felt that his guilt conscience was there, that he killed somebody, but that load has been kept down today, and he was very calm and happy from that day onwards. Glossary or meanings of some hard words. Deserted, empty of people. Pile, a string caught. Gasped, catch one's breath with an open mouth owing to astonishment. Gambled, play games of chance for money. Students, I hope you understood the lesson. Thank you for listening to me so far. Do not forget to like and share my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you once again.